welcome to this week's edition of Madisyn with the News. Today we're going to be talking about social media's impact on our mental health and on our privacy. Social media and mental health. While social media allows us to connect with others all around the world, social media may be doing more harm than good, especially when it comes to children and teenagers. This is why Utah State Governor Spencer Cox put a social media ban in place, otherwise known as the Social Media Regulation Act. That essentially bans minors from using social media from 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. The act only allows minors to join social media platforms with parental consent and also prohibits direct messaging with certain accounts. It may not show the minor's account in search results or display advertising. The act will not take place until March 1st, 2024, as the state of Utah is currently working with social media platforms to implement these restrictions. While this may seem extreme, there are many studies that were done to see just how much social media affects minors. According to socialharms.utah.gov, nearly half of teens aged 13 to 17 say social media makes them feel worse. More than 60% of teens are regularly exposed to hate-based content, and a consistent relationship was found between cyberbullying on social media and depression among children of all ages. Governor Cox is the first lawmaker to pass social media regulations that are aimed at protecting minors. Governor Cox recognized a problem between social media and the death rates among children and decided that enough was enough. Many children and teens are addicted to social media without even knowing it. Studies show that more than half of teens report that it would be hard for them to give up social media. And in a national survey of girls ages 11 to 15, 1/3 or more say they feel more addicted to a social media platform. Not only do these laws prohibit the use of social media between certain hours and require parental consent to minors' use of social media, these laws also offer opportunities for lawsuits on behalf of children who claim they have been harmed by social media. This is something that has never been done before, but gives the opportunity for parents and children to not only share their stories and concerns, but also give families the chance to hold these social media companies accountable for their actions. Now, there's been a debate going on. One side claiming that social media companies are not at fault when it comes to minors' mental health because they are not the ones posting the content, but rather it is the people who post things on social media that are not suitable for children. But the truth is, these social media platforms do know what they're doing when it comes to youth mental health. Now, this is not to say social media companies made these platforms to purposely cause mental health issues to minors, but rather they know how to make their platforms addicting and how to keep minors coming back for more. Social media platforms go a step further than making their platforms addicting by the way they advertise to children. Now, while every social media user may be susceptible to advertising, minors are even more easily influenced by advertising because their critical thinking skills and impulse controls are not fully developed. Minors being susceptible to these ads are one of the main reasons social media can cause mental health issues. According to health.ucdavis.edu, ads may harm children by leading to childhood obesity, hurting their self-image, and increased usage of tobacco products, marijuana, and alcohol. According to healthychildren.org, research shows that 96% of free downloaded apps for children under the age of 5 have hidden and pop-up ads, and ads that when viewed provide tokens or easier gameplay. Advertisers know children will view the ads just to get the tokens in their game, so advertisers then take advantage of that and use invisible data collection tools to let them tailor ads and other information the advertisers know will affect children's behavior. Now, let's stray away from social media and mental health and focus on social media and privacy data. While the Act requires age verification and parental consent to create an account, the Act also prohibits social media companies from collecting, sharing, or using personal information from the account of minors. This is huge in the digital era that we currently live in because of the few social media companies who have been caught violating their own privacy policies. Facebook has been caught several times sharing private data from 500 million of Facebook users. Washington Post columnist Jeffrey A. Fowler conducted his own experiment in 2021 after the latest Facebook scandal to see how much Facebook not only tracks your own Facebook usage, but also how it tracks other apps' usage. Fowler says, "It isn't just the Facebook app that's gobbling up your information. Facebook is so big, it has persuaded millions of other businesses, apps, and websites to also snoop on its behalf. Even when you're not actively using Facebook, even when you're not online, and perhaps even if you've never even had a Facebook account." In his experiment, Fowler cut Instagram and Facebook out of his life for 2 weeks and then kept note of who it sent his data to. For example, if he had searched something on Google or texted somebody on a messaging platform like WhatsApp, did it also pop up on his Facebook? Over the 2 weeks Fowler did not use Instagram or Facebook, he tallied that Facebook tracked him on at least 95 different apps, websites, and businesses. He concluded by saying those are just the ones that he knows about, and there is a possibility that Facebook tracked him on more than 95 apps that he just does not know about. It is important to note that Meta, formerly Facebook Incorporated, has partnerships with 94 other companies. Facebook provides its business partners and/or other companies tracking software that they embed into other apps and websites. Any of these companies or partners that need to do advertising have little to no choice but to feed your tracked activities into what can be construed as Facebook's vacuum. Facebook then tries to take this data and applies it to your account. The information then sits next to your name in your profile, invisible to everyone including the account owner. But Facebook uses this data to shape your experiences online. Now, this may not seem like a big deal. Nearly every social media platform tracks and collects data about what you do on their platform. And this wouldn't be a big deal if Meta hadn't already been in trouble for this issue multiple times without fixing it. Not only has Meta not fixed the issue, but it brings up a larger issue that companies that Meta are sharing our data with are not all United States based, meaning Meta is selling our personal information that includes names, addresses, statuses, education, what you look for on other apps, and more, to companies based all over the world. Meta still has not fixed its privacy issues even after being fined a record of $1.3 billion for violating European Union data protection rules after sharing private data from the US to Europe. If users choose to get rid of Meta apps, there are only a few alternative apps that do not share your data with third-party companies. And unfortunately, the alternative apps are not well known at all. An app called True was built as a safer alternative by Facebook for Facebook by CEO Brett Cox. According to Cox, the app promises not to sell or track personal information and does not show any kind of advertisements. And while once upon a time Facebook also promised not to sell data, the True app does not even collect data amongst its users, so it is impossible for them to sell any. As noted previously, Meta has partnerships with 94 different companies under their corporation, and Meta owns 4 social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Oculus VR, and WhatsApp. WhatsApp has also gotten in trouble for privacy issues, which is not surprising since they are also owned by Meta. But this just gives a clear example of how Meta is putting these data tracking softwares into something as simple as a messaging app that is supposed to be encrypted, so that only you and the person you are messaging can access the messages. According to the New York Times, WhatsApp also received a significant fine of $270 million by Irish authorities for not being transparent about how it uses its data collected from its people on the service. The United States has not yet filed a lawsuit against Meta for their data privacy issues, so it is clear that the other countries take their privacy data breaches a lot more seriously than the United States. And that's it for this week's edition of Madisyn with the News. We will see you here next time.